Hi there. If you've been looking for a NotebookLM workflow that actually works, step by step, you're in the right place. When I first started using NotebookLM, I felt completely overwhelmed. I was drowning in information, and I genuinely didn't know how to turn any of it into useful output. I had notebooks everywhere, random names, low quality sources dumped in with no clear purpose, and every time I asked the AI something, what came back felt flat, generic, like it could have been written about anyone's business, not mine. Here's what I've learned and what I would like to share with you today. That's not a NotebookLM problem. That's actually a structure problem. The good news? There is a fix. I'm still very much learning as I go with this tool. And honestly, that's part of why I want to share what I've discovered so far. My early notebooks were a mess. Random sources, overlapping topics, no real intention behind any of it. What changed wasn't that I learned more features. What changed was that I built a clear structure first, and then let NotebookLM's capabilities do what they're actually designed to do. My hope is that this video will help you with a practical workflow you can apply to your online business, rather than just a feature walkthrough. Before I show you the system, there's one mindset shift that made everything else click. Most people use NotebookLM like Google. They upload one or more PDFs, ask one question, get a generic answer, and then give up. But NotebookLM isn't a search engine. It's a source-grounded thinking partner, and it's only as smart as what you feed it and how you ask. You know that saying, garbage in, garbage out. With NotebookLM, it's more like generic in, generic out. The tool didn't fail you, the inputs did. Once that clicked, everything changed. What I'm sharing today is a system designed for solopreneurs and online business owners who've done the courses, the coaching programs, the tutorials, but still haven't turned all that learning into something they can truly earn from. I also want to mention I have a business clarity framework called TrueLearn. It's an AI-powered tool that includes a free psychometric assessment that maps you to the online business model that fits how you actually wired. I'll show you exactly where it connects to this system, but our focus right now is the workflow. So let's get into it. Here's what we're building together today. Pillar 1. Market intelligence. Your external view. What your market looks like, what competitors are doing, and the gaps nobody is addressing yet. Pillar 2. Business brain. This is your internal view. Your own content, your offer, your messaging, and an honest audit of whether what you're putting out actually lands. Pillar 3. Idea lab or future view, where you validate ideas before spending time or money building them. It's worthwhile to note that each pillar may contain multiple notebooks. For example, within market intelligence, you might have one notebook for competitor research and another for niche pain points, etc. The pillar gives each notebook its purpose. And here's what makes this more than just an organization system. Each pillar connects directly to NotebookLM Studio features. Audio overviews, briefing docs, mind maps, slide decks, infographics. I'll show you exactly which studio output you can use with each pillar and why. And inside each notebook, the workflow follows the same simple 3-step rhythm. Chat, notes, studio. Ask it a layered question, save the best insight as a pinned note, then turn that note into an asset using Studio. Once you feel that rhythm, the whole system becomes intuitive. If you stay with me to the end, I'll show you the one Studio feature that genuinely surprised me. I hadn't used it before, and when I tried it, I expected very little, but walked away completely rethinking how you can validate your ideas. So let's dive into the pillars. Pillar 1, Market Intelligence. This pillar has one job: to show you what's happening outside your business. What goes in here? Competitor sales pages, Reddit thread exports from your niche, YouTube comment transcripts from the top videos in your space, industry report summaries, and so forth. Now here's a shift that changes the quality of everything you get back from NotebookLM. Most people ask it to summarize, but the output gets genuinely powerful when you ask it, what's missing? That one shift changes everything. Here's the gap finder prompt to use. What is missing in, and here you can input your topic or niche that no competitor or creator is currently addressing. Identify the top 3 undeserved needs and explain why each one represents a real opportunity. Now, here's another feature that I'm not sure many users even know about. It's called deep research. Instead of manually hunting for sources and uploading them one by one, you type your topic or question directly, and NotebookLM acts like a dedicated researcher. It browses hundreds of verified sources, builds you a cited report automatically, and you can import that report straight back into your notebook as a new source. Now, here's where NotebookLM does something no other AI tool does quite like this. You can generate an audio overview. What's worth knowing is that there are now 4 formats to choose from. And maybe by the time you listen to this video or watch this video, there might be even more. But now the formats are deep dive, brief, critique, and debate. For market research, you might find the debate format particularly useful. 2 AI voices, genuinely conversational, pushing back on each other's findings. You can listen to this on a walk, and by the time you get back, you've developed a perspective you wouldn't have reached just staring at the screen. You can then generate a briefing doc, a clean, structured summary of the market intelligence you can actually act on. Next, you can save the key insight as a pinned note inside the notebook. That pinned note becomes the thread to carry into Pillar 2. And I'll show you how to do that when we get to Pillar 3. Pillar 2, Business Brain. This is where you can have a quiet and sometimes very revealing realization about your own business. So what goes in here? Your existing content, your offer copy, your emails, client feedback, objections you hear repeatedly. Then you can run what I call the messaging audit. Here's the prompt you can use. Act as a skeptical potential customer who has seen many online offers and is slow to trust. What is the weakest part of this offer? And give me 3 specific reasons why someone might not buy it. That's not always comfortable to read, but it's grounded entirely in what you've actually written, not what you think you've written. What's actually there on the page. That distinction matters. What makes the notebook chat genuinely powerful here is that you can keep asking layered follow-up questions. What objection am I not answering? Where is my positioning unclear? And NotebookLM will only ever respond based on what you've uploaded. No generic advice. Source grounded every time. For this pillar, I find 2 studio outputs particularly useful. A mind map to visually see how all the pieces of your offer connect and where the gaps actually are, and a slide deck, which you can turn directly into a lead magnet, a workshop outline, or a content piece. And it's worth mentioning that the slide deck can now export as a PowerPoint presentation too. Let's move to pillar 3, and this is where things started to click together. Idea Lab. This pillar is for the version of you that has the ideas but isn't sure which one to bold. What goes in here? Industry research reports, course notes, books in your niche, the gap findings you surfaced. And this is where TrueLand connects directly, your founder fit report and your market validated report, which map your natural strengths to a specific online business model and includes a 30-day launch plan. When those reports are sitting inside your Idea Lab as sources, you're no longer asking NotebookLM to guess what business suits you. You're asking it to help you execute a plan that's already been built around how you're wired. That's a completely different conversation. One of the most common frustrations people have with Notebook is the feeling that each notebook is an island. Here's how you can bridge that. At the end of a research session, when you've finished working inside the notebook and have a clear insight you want to carry forward, you can run what I call the Handoff Prompt. Summarize the top 3 strategic insights from this session in 5 clear bullet points, written so they can be understood in a completely separate notebook, without this one open. That output becomes a source in the next notebook. Your insights now travel across the system. The pillars are connected. Another thing to note, when you use Gemini with NotebookLM, it effectively acts as a bridge between multiple notebooks, making it easier to pull insights across different pillars without manual copy-paste. Definitely worth exploring once your system is in place. Now, this is the studio feature that genuinely surprised me. I hadn't used it before, so when I tried it out, I expected very little. The infographic generator. NotebookLM transforms your research into a clear, structured infographic straight from your sources, making it a seriously powerful tool. But it also reveals clarity in your building process. If the AI can't turn your idea into a clean visual, it's not ready. It's still half-formed thinking, posing as strategy. A mind map shows you structure. The infographic tests whether the idea is easy to understand, which is the real question before you build. Something I came across in NotebookLM communities is that once this clicks, people say it feels like their own private AI or GPT trained on everything they know, like a research assistant that's actually read all their notes and can finally help them use it. As you can see, the AI was never the problem. In fact, it's an incredibly powerful assistant when used properly. The real difference is giving it the right input in the right pillar and asking it to do the right job. If you've ever felt like you're drowning in information but still can't find a clear path forward, this is what changes that. You don't have to rebuild everything at once. Start with one notebook inside your market intelligence pillar. Pull in 2 or 3 sources from your niche, run the gap finder prompt, then generate an audio overview and just listen. See what surfaces. That's one step. And sometimes one step is all it takes to shift from collecting information to doing something with it. To make that easier, I've put together the free 3-pillar starter kit. It has the upload checklist for all 3 pillars, the exact prompts I walked you through today, and the studio feature guide so you know which output to run and when. The link is right below. And if you're ready to take the step before jumping into the system, to know exactly what business line you're building in before you open a single notebook, TrueLane is in early access right now. You'll find the link to the waitlist or the actual app, depending on when you watch this video, in the description too. Which of the 3 pillars feels most useful to you right now? Drop it in the comments below. See you in the next one. Bye bye.